Alright, so this is my first video, or first video of a series of a bus build that my wife and I are doing. It's my first video for YouTube, and we figured this would be a good place to start. And Skoolie builds seem to be pretty popular right now. But this is a 2005 International CE 300, 71 passenger bus, 38 feet bumper to bumper. We bought it from down south, and I bought this one because it was relatively rust free, which is a good place you want to start with a bus build. You don't want a bunch of rust. And it has the DT466E engine with, I believe, a Allison 2000 series transmission, which is electronically controlled, but it's supposed to be a pretty good transmission. Let's see. We had new tires put on it right away before we even picked it up. That was very expensive, nearly the cost of the bus, but definitely worth it. We had a long drive to go, and we knew we were going to need tires anyways for the start. So we figured might as well bite the bullet ahead of time and get some nice tires on. So I put some nice, or had some nice hand-cooked tires put on. We were planning or want to move to Utah this year. We went out in January, and everything was fine at that point, but then when we got back in February was pretty much when the COVID-19 pandemic was starting to hit the US, so we kind of had to put our plans on hold. And my wife and I, we've had campers and stuff before, and we even had a Class A motorhome, but we always kind of toyed with the idea of maybe doing a school bus and joked about it, or getting like some sort of an enclosed trailer and maybe making that into a camper. But we decided that instead of letting the pandemic hold us back, that we're actually going to go forward, and if anything, we're going to try and turn a negative situation into a positive by having the school bus and making it our permanent home on wheels for a few years. We don't want to move out to Utah and have a ton of debt, like a $400,000 mortgage, so we kind of figured at least with the school bus everything will be paid for, and we can really just kind of take our time and travel around for a couple of years and really figure out where we want to settle. So after doing some research and looking at buses online and everything, I bought this bus from Midwest Transit. Like I said, I picked this one because it was relatively rust-free, and it had the drivetrain I was looking for, and it was just everything we figured would be a good start for a bus. I'm probably not going to be doing videos on everything we do to the bus, or like as far as every little step of the process, film every little thing we want to do. I'm kind of the person that really just once I start the project, I just want to get going on it. And so that's where we figure that just doing kind of update videos like this, every now and then when we complete a major step in the process, I'll make a new video and post it online if anybody wants to follow along. So like I said, as you can see, the bus is in good shape, and I'll go inside and show some of the progress already. We already got our floor replaced. The biggest pain was definitely removing the rubber floor. That was the hardest job by far. And once we did that, we found that we had some rotted flooring in the back by the back door and the two windows. We replaced all that, did some surface rust prevention underneath the subfloor. Then I made a good work of 1x3s around the perimeter and laid some 3/4 inch polystyrene foam board in between. And then we put 1/2 inch OSB over the top of that. And we primed the wood in both stages, just some regular house primer. And as you can see, we already have the interior gutted, including the ceiling. We kind of lucked out with our ceiling that it wasn't riveted. It was all screwed in. Made it much easier and quicker for the removal. And so far we're happy with what we see as far as there's no rust or any major damage or corrosion to worry about. The seats were not a problem to remove. The driver's area, the dashboard area, is in excellent shape. It's kind of cluttered right now with all of our gear for working on the bus. But everything on the driver's area looked pretty good to us. We had to drive the bus 600 miles home, which wasn't a big deal. Actually, we split it up in 2 days. It wasn't a big deal at all. The only issue that we had was that when we were filling up with fuel the second time or the second day, I didn't know about that the leave no student behind style child safety stuff where you have to walk the bus. And unknowingly I had the starter lockout enact on us, or engage on us, and we were trying to figure out how the hell we can get the bus to go, and then I kind of figured out there's a lock by the back door. I think someone added in addition to the factory run, and that was the starter relay lockout. But after a while we got that figured out, and the bus runs great. Every now and then I get a check engine light that kind of stays on and goes off, but it didn't concern me too much, because for me what was really important was the vitals of the engine were good, the oil pressure was good, temperature, all that. But yeah, so this is the start of our project. It's, like I said, it's 71 passenger, 38-foot bus, and compared to a normal motorhome, even the one we had, which was a 2016 Forest River FR3 32DS, which was about as long as this bus is from the driver's area back, not including the engine bay of this bus. And so driving this thing wasn't really a big deal. It had been a couple of years since we had that motorhome, but getting in this and driving this wasn't a problem at all. It's what we like about the bus is that you obviously have all this nice metal ribbing and safety. You know, you have a steel body, or depending on what bus builder you have, you might have steel and aluminum combined on the roof. But buses typically have probably a higher safety standard than typical motorhomes. So, and after seeing how popular the builds are, we just figured, well, let's go with the bus. But I'll try to conclude this video here. I'll make another video probably the next couple days showing our layout. Starting today, we're probably going to start putting our layout on the floor, and I'll go more into depth about what appliances we have, what we're going with as far as solar, electrical, all that kind of stuff, and it'll probably help to see our layout on the floor. Today I just kind of wanted to introduce the bus, give some characteristics, or tell about the bus. But if you want to follow along, you're welcome to. Like I said, I'm not going to probably be the type of YouTuber that shows every step of the process. Once I start something, I just want to keep going with it. So, step out of the bus here. But yeah, that's the start of our new permanent home. And like I said, if you want to follow along, I'd like to have you. If not, I understand. There's a lot of other bus builds out there to follow, but it should be a fun process, and I'll try to keep you in the loop. All right, thanks for joining.